Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Synergistic CX podcast here on the CX channel. I'm Eric Brooks, Vice President at Research Metrics and part of the core team here at the CX channel where CX professionals converge. Joining me today are Emil Tsankov and Chris Oliveira, fellow members of the CX channel team. It's always great to have everyone here. And we're thrilled today to welcome a special guest who is an expert in customer experience, Kapel Malhotra, the founder and managing director at Total Solutions Group. He's joining us today from India. Thank you so much, Kapel, for joining us today. It's great to have you here. Could you start by sharing a bit about yourself and your work at Total Solutions Group?
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone, for inviting me today. Very excited on this podcast. I started Total Solutions Group in the year 1999. I was fresh out of my CA degree and thought of looking at how to improve the top line and bottom line of an organization. So for me, the North Star was always how do I get more customers in an organization, and can I help an organization do that? And that is where, when we started the program, we used to call it Customer Experience Measuring and Monitoring Program. We never even knew the term mystery shopping. It was only until a few years that we realized that we were maybe one of the pioneers in India when it came to evaluating customer experience. And then we learned the term mystery shopping. That's how we started it. We've helped a lot of organizations over the last 26 years now. So it's been a great journey so far, and looking forward to a fantastic road ahead.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for joining us. We're always excited to have our special guests here on the podcast each episode, and we're very much looking forward to your insights, particularly in this industry study that we're looking at today. So for the agenda today, we'll be exploring our latest study using our ABSA methodology. That's ABSA, which is the aspect-based sentiment analysis that we perform to decode customer feedback. And what we've done is we've analyzed thousands of online reviews across various industries, from pubs and bakeries to fragrance stores, car rental businesses, do-it-yourself retail stores. But in this episode, we're actually shifting our focus to a very distinctive customer journey, which is the luxury shoe store micro industry. So we'll be discussing not only this brand new industry, but a specific customer segment. Unlike mass market footwear, the luxury experience extends far beyond the product itself. It's a world where the brand heritage and the exclusivity, the craftsmanship, and personalized services really play a crucial role in shaping the customer perspectives. And today we'll be breaking down key insights from our online study and exploring how those luxury brands differentiate themselves and discuss the evolving expectations of today's high-end customers. At the end of the episode, we'll have a deeper conversation with Kapel, and he'll share his expertise on what defines excellence in this particular micro industry, and also a couple of other insights into other luxury segments and how brands can balance digital innovation with the human touch here, and why personalization is so important to the long-term loyalty in these particular types of stores. As always, you can get a more in-depth look at our industry study of luxury shoe stores by downloading this month's Synergistic CX magazine for free at our website at cx-channel.com. So for this particular industry study, we'll do what we normally do with these types of studies. We will start off with the sample covering what we've pulled from the reviews. We'll talk about the star ratings and the critical review response time, which is how quickly, if at all, are these brands responding to negative online reviews. We'll talk about the marketing mix. We'll talk about the customer journey and the steps and activities and various touch points. And then we'll get to our big moment of truth, where we'll see the customer journey map and actually see what those online reviews look like when they're mapped against the customer journey map. We'll then talk about the marketing mix funnel matrix, and we will go over a starter voice of the customer survey for the micro industry here that we're studying. And then we will, of course, spend some time in our Meet the Experts segment talking with Kapel and getting all sorts of wonderful insights from him. And then we'll wrap up with some conclusions. Okay, and here's our industry study sample for this particular episode. Neil, would you like to talk about what we've collected?
Yes, thank you, Eric. So, as you mentioned, this is a very interesting and boutique micro industry, even if you will. With regards to the sample, what we have done here is we have composed a global sample, which is composed of Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Asia Pacific, and the Americas. And as you can see on the distribution here, the sample is relatively equally distributed amongst these regions. As far as this micro industry segment is concerned, we have collected data for 1,318 luxury shoe stores locations. And of these, we have a little bit over 11,000 reviews that we have analyzed. So this should give us a relatively good picture of that micro industry segment. The industry is very small to start with. Our margin of error here for this study is 2.5% with the confidence level of 99.5%. So these are our sample parameters that we start off with. So moving on to the star ratings. And as we know, the star ratings in online reviews and ratings are a system which customers can use to evaluate a product, service, or business on a scale typically from 1 to 5 stars, where each star represents a level of satisfaction. So what we can see here is that the vast majority of the reviews carry the 5-star ratings. The average rating between the three areas, Europe, Middle East, Africa, APAC, and Americas, are almost identical at 4.23. This is the average star rating. When we look at the distribution, what we see is a slightly different picture from what we have seen in the other industries. So in the previous studies, what we have seen is that the 2, the 3, and the 4 stars are relatively uniform. So if we have deviations, these are between the 5 stars and the 1-star ratings. Whereas here, what we see is that the APAC 4-star rating is actually compensating for the 5-star rating for the same region. So everything else seems to be quite identical, but this is a peculiarity that we see this for the first time in this micro industry segment. So overall, very slight regional variations, and this is the only peculiar thing that we can mention with regards to the star ratings. And the critical review response time is usually the most controversial KPI that we delve into. And what we see very consistently, and we still see very consistently being the case in this micro industry, in this segment, is that there is a very large number of reviews that are critical reviews that are not answered. So let me first explain this KPI. The critical review response time is a KPI which measures how quickly a business responds to critical reviews. Those are the reviews with a rating of 1 or 2 stars. So obviously, this KPI is a key in customer relationship management, as it reflects the business dedication to addressing customer complaints and issues promptly. What we can see here on the global level is that there is a significant majority of negative reviews, more than 80% globally, that stay unanswered. And this is the big red area. So the red area is the not responded reviews. Then there is a very small red critical area. These are the reviews that are answered after 72 hours after submission. There's pretty much non-existent fair segment. These are the reviews that are answered within the 72 hours, and excellent. This is the green 15.4% area. These are reviews that are answered within 24 hours. So that is the global picture. What
And
we
just to
can
make a point, Emil, on the previous slide, when we look at the Americas versus the EMEA and the Asia Pac, we look at that the Americas are ahead almost twice, or in case of APAC, almost thrice in terms of the response rates, which means that maybe they are more tuned into, responding to critical reviews. But what's still below the radar is what we're seeing is that in the case of mystery shopping, whenever we do something known as a hot alert, where we find something that has not gone well, whether it's customer service related or integrity related, we see the response rates are way higher because the client responds to a mystery shopping uh, review way faster. So I'm not sure whether these organizations have a structure in place because you
Mhm.
really need to respond to critical reviews and the response time needs to also be way better.
absolutely, and unfortunately, this type of significant amount of negative reviews that go and stay unanswered is not exception in this micro industry segment. We see this over and over again in some micro industries. The critical review response time for the not responded reviews is above 90%. So
Mhm.
80% is actually the norm. And the point that you're making with regards to the methodology, online reviews and ratings versus mystery shopping, yes, we know that the more structured data is, the more structured the methodologies, the more objective the metrics that are collected are, the better the engagement is. So we do see this low engagement on answering those critical reviews here over and over again, and it certainly points to a lack of system and a
Mhm.
lack of focus to address those, and that is unfortunately very, very consistent across all micro industries that we have studied so far.
Agree.
All right, so let's just as a point of observation, if we compare reviews with comments versus reviews without comments or rating only reviews, obviously we get better response on the reviews with comments simply because there is a context, but still the difference is not that big. So even the reviews with comments, which provide the context and which should be easier to respond, they're not getting a significantly better response rate. We're still talking about 80% in the critical area. Now,
Yeah.
going back to the observation that you just made, it is consistent, and I was going to make that observation here. There is a difference between the regions, and it is substantial in favor of the Americas versus APAC.
It's very interesting here too, because as we move through these episodes and these different industry studies, there's certain segments where you could argue that customer reviews might not matter as much because people don't tend to read them that often. Like if you take the do-it-yourself retail stores, I'm not going to go typically do a review or look for reviews if I'm going to go buy a piece of wood to build a deck or something like that, or a piece of furniture. But for a luxury retail purchase, like high-end shoes or something, I'm absolutely going to be reading reviews. And it's just remarkable how, regardless of the industry, we seem to see this as a pattern.
Yeah, Eric, what I'd like to add to it, when we do our mystery shops, and this conversation happened around a year ago with some of our clients, and there was this particular client that was scoring at a fairly high average clip. And then they wanted us to do a little bit of competition benchmarking to figure out, is the industry also at the same percentage? And what we realized is that there were almost 15 to 20% delta in terms of a higher percentage. And there was an idea that came to our mind, and we proposed this to the client, and we said, where the experience has gone beautiful, it's been perfect. The experience, right from the ambience to the product display to the product demo to the sales consultant explaining all the features, advantages, and benefits the right way. This shopper actually came back to us and said, you know what, I'd like to buy this product. Is there a way that I can get, and it was a luxury product, is there a way that I can skip the queue and not just be in the waiting area? And while we spoke to the client that, is there a way that this 8 month waiting for this particular watch can be reduced? The client came back and said, so this was an actual mystery shopper, and we said yes. And then we brainstormed and came up with a concept known as user generated content from mystery shoppers. So wherever the experience is top notch, this person is an actual customer as well. That's why we have found the right persona to do that particular visit. And now what we're doing at Total Solutions Group is that wherever the experience has gone very good, we are now creating a mystery audit plus program where we're allowing the shopper to create a feedback and to put it back on the social media. So that's what your reviews are. They have the ability to put the reviews now on the internet on various sites. Now this is amplifying the good work that is being done by this retailer or by this brand, and the shopper is also getting an opportunity to put those positive comments on social media as well.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Thanks.
That's great.
So, Kapel, I actually have a couple of questions, follow-up questions in that relation, but let's quickly jump onto the marketing mix topic because there are some very interesting observations here. So very, very quickly, businesses we have seen often face challenges in aligning their marketing mix to the complex customer paths across multiple channels. So what we strive to uncover here is in the marketing mix what actually customers care about first. So that is the first question that we ask ourselves. What do customers talk or care about the most? And so here we take the 7 marketing mix elements, which we're using the 7P marketing mix. This is an extension on the classic 4P marketing mix, and we are adding the people, the process, and the physical evidence to the classic product, price, place, and promotion. And we perform what we call aspect-based sentiment analysis on all the reviews. And then we map those aspects to the marketing mix elements. And what we see here at a very high level that customers talk about the most about people, about product, and about the place. And this is 90% of all the conversations. This is what 90% of the conversations are about. Now, when we drill down deeper and ask the question, what details do customers prioritize? So this is about analyzing not just the marketing mix elements, but also added features. We can see that with regards to people, sales personnel attitude and sales personnel expertise combined amount to close to 40% of all the aspects that are being discussed. It is not insignificant. It is close to half of the conversations. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen that in the other industry studies. So here we see a strong prevalence of the people-related topics, specifically about attitude and expertise, and that makes sense in the context of this industry. Then, with regards to the product, obviously the quality and the diversity are important. And finally, with regards to the place, environment, and ambience, also expected, but this is what customers are talking about the most. And now, before I ask you the question about your experience and your read of that data, I'll also delve into the marketing mix experiences. So this is the customer sentiments, thoughts, and feelings within the marketing mix. And what we can see is that with regards to people, product, and place, which is the most discussed topics, 16% of the customer reviews highlight negative experiences, which which is not a small percentage considering this is a luxury industry. But when we get into the price marketing mix element, nearly 50% of the feedback is categorized as critical. So, um, based on your experience, and I know that you have a lot of experience in this business micro industry segment, what is your interpretation of that data?
So I'll answer I'll answer point number two first on the price, because I think when it comes to luxury, there's always the value that precedes the price. We work with a luxury retailer, and I'll very quickly give you an example how we actually got so impressed with this client where we actually approached them because I had a personal experience. I was in a city in India waiting for my Uber. It was a little hot, and I entered into this showroom, which was at the corner of the road. The air conditioner was perfect. The moment I entered, I was acknowledged. Someone gave me a bottle of water. I had the bottle of water. I was enjoying myself. I was looking at my app. It said another 13 minutes for my Uber to arrive. So I had another 10 odd minutes to enjoy myself in the air conditioner. This person came to me and he said, "Sir, are you looking for anything specific?" I said, "No, not really. I'm just browsing through." Very quickly, this person said, "Sir, would you like to look at a product that I would like to showcase to you? It's one of the lightest pair of shoes on the planet." Now, what this person did immediately, he put in my mind the element of curiosity, and I wanted to solve for it. So I said, "Okay, let's see what it is." He put it on my palm. And the shoe did feel very light. And he said, "Sir, trust me, when you wear it, it's going to feel very different." So now what he got me from curiosity to trial. So he got me immersed. I was like, okay. I sat down, still looking at my app, 11 minutes to go, wore both the pairs, wore the pair of shoes. The gentleman looked at me and he said, "Sir, the moment you walk around the store is when you really feel what this product is actually." And that's what I did. So I
Brilliant.
walked around the store over the next 30, 40 seconds. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And literally my smile from here, it went till here. And he said, "Sir, does it feel that you are walking on the clouds?" I said, "It is. It does feel like that." And then I saw another 8 minutes to go. I was like, "Oh my God, you know?" And he said, "I just wanted to ensure that you know what this product is made of. It's made of a special leather. It's a fish seasoned leather, so it's kind of waterproof as well." So now he's really getting into, me getting to really feel the product and understand, appreciate the product as well, and respect the product. So now you can imagine that price was not becoming a determinant. And imagine if you would have told me the price up front, I would not have appreciated the product that much. So by the end of the conversation, I was like, "Great, fantastic. This is a good product. I like it. Thank you so much." And I said, "By the way, what's the price?" And he put a price across to me. And I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty expensive." And he smiled at me and he said, "Sir," now again, he knew the customer as well. So he said, "Sir, the shoes that you're wearing, this product maybe is half the price." So now this guy really knows his job, right? And I was like, "Thank you very much. Thanks a lot." And now I had 4 minutes to kill somehow because I had to get out, right? I was not there to buy. And he said, "By the way, sir, this is the last pair available at our store." Yeah. So, Eric, you can imagine what was
Yeah.
happening. My credit card was jumping out of my wallet. You know what I did, to be very honest? I pulled out my phone and I said, "My friend, I have 3 minutes to go. I just ordered my Uber. I just wanted some air conditioning to kind of get my sweat out." And he was like, "Sir, no worries at all. That's perfectly fine. Can I get you another bottle of water?" I was like, wow, this guy really knows his job. And I said, "Okay, let's pack the pair." I bought the pair of shoes, swiped my card. There was still another minute to go. In 12 minutes, this gentleman sold me a shoe that I was not in to buy for. So
Mm-hmm.
price, I think, is critical. However, when you're talking about luxury, uh, for me, it does not stand in any criticality if it's done the right way. That's why people buy luxury.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as a woman, I would ask how many colors you do have.
How many?
How many different colors can I have?
I
Because
mean,
the story is so good. I say to have this black, I'll take the nude and the red one.
exactly. And what we did, Eric, Emil, and Chris, what we did, I stepped out, I got into my Uber, I called my colleague and I said, listen, guys, I need to speak to the head of training, to the head of quality. I need to speak to someone in this brand.
Mm-hmm.
I called up them, took out the effort. I said, you know what? This is the experience I had at your store today, just 20 minutes ago, at your store here at this road, at this particular location. And this person was like, did you meet this person? I said, yes. And she was like, he's our, he's our star. I was like, well, do you have more of these? And they said, yes, we wish we would have more and more of these. But they said that is how intense our trainings are. And our focus is never to push the sale. I said, you know what? If this guy had another pair, I would have bought it as well. This guy was so good. But I never felt that this guy pushed it. He wanted me to buy it. He
Mm-hmm.
really wanted me to. I felt that I wanted to buy it myself. So that's what comes about. And just to pick up on another one, there's another brand that we work with that sells shirts that are of top quality, very expensive. The first thing that they say that this shirt is second skin. The moment you wear it, it's like second skin. Would you like to try it, Eric? Emil? Of course you would, right? Second skin, what a great phrase to pick at, right? So for me, I think the people and the product, the place, yes. If you have those in place, I think price can be sorted.
Mm-hmm. What's
Attention,
interesting too
attention,
is,
desire, action. That's classic sequence. Attention, interest, desire, action.
yeah,
But don't underestimate the place you went in because of the place.
That's true.
what's amazing too is he didn't just sell you some shoes, but he actually closed the entire piece of the customer journey where he's turned you into a brand loyalist. You are spreading the word about the fact that you had this amazing customer experience. And if he was to follow up, or if the store was to follow up after purchase with just a customer feedback survey, or just a phone call to ask you how are the shoes, what do you think? I mean, there is no better experience for a customer than all of that. And yeah, your story there, I mean, you're about to have a whole lot of people hear this story about this particular brand, and it just shows the depth of reach to the customers and the market that one experience can have.
Agree. We love working with clients like these who are at the top of the game, but they know that they can do better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So let's close up the topic of marketing mix. And so very quickly, key takeaways, quickly respond to negative reviews. That was obvious. Focus on people, product, and place, 90% of all the conversations. Elevate sales personnel attitude and expertise, 40% of all the conversations. Close to 20% negative reviews, obviously something to focus on. Ensure pricing clarity. Nearly 50% of the feedback relating to pricing is critically negative, indicate the need for transparent pricing and seamless checkout experience to build trust and confidence. We will actually see this during the next segment when we talk about the customer journey and where we intersect the marketing mix and the customer journey. And finally, product quality and diversity. This is what customers expect in this micro industry segment. So that closes the marketing mix. And Eric, back to you.
This is the end of part one of our 3-part episode here on the Synergistic CX podcast. In the next segment, we will explore more details of our study about luxury shoe stores and learn more about the customer journey map and key touch points to drive loyalty. Remember that you can find the details of the study for free on our website, cx-channel.com. And you can also follow the CX channel on LinkedIn, YouTube, or your favorite social media. Be sure to press that subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode.